about that time. It's party time from the Culture Swine on RadioDR.co.za. Hi, it's party time from the Culture Swine, and I'm in the stew with Slew and two new dudes.
Off the bat, that was nice. Off the bat.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Guys,
yeah.
really party time's back. Because the president do, but he can't do. What the fuck?
Cha. Khona omunye upresident wethu uboshiwe.
Yes.
Kodwa lekaboshwe, lekalanda wena. Lekalanda bana.
I'm locked up, they won't let me out.
Ngabe it's your house. Ikhaya lakhe phela leli.
Ushilo vele ufuna kumele ngibophelele enkandla. What's Joburg?
Pablo Escobar vibes.
Exactly.
Shiny home jail.
Anyway, let's introduce our guests. We've got Ndalo.
Humbled to be here. First time on the podcast. She's been hounding me. I finally managed to pull through, but your boy's a taxpayer now, so hey, Kunzi, man.
That's what the text number comes.
Yeah.
The text number.
Hey, for 5 years, bro, we're on text numbers. I just did my tax return, so yes! Your boy's about to be bowling real soon.
I know, can we just, wait, I need to address this.
No, I was just making sure.
So literally just like pulled his diary with his name on it. You think I invite strangers onto my podcast?
Check. Protection.
We are insulter on my podcast.
In case, yeah.
No, thank you. And then we've got Luto on this side. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks. I haven't done my tax returns.
Till now, J text number.
I text number, but I never feel into the level of.
Obviously, because your employer does it for you.
How? Just tell me. What if guys are being frauded?
Even though your text number is tied up.
Are you meant to?
I told him, so salary, you get 1.2 for like a single thing. Get your tax number. But
guys, educate me. This is
I'm
because
because I ask every year, am I supposed to file tax returns? No one says anything.
So on your payslip, you don't see deductions on your payslip.
No, I see the deduction.
Yeah, then.
But I don't know my tax number.
So call someone to give you a tax number.
I know. I have my tax number on my desktop computer. My question is, are my tax returns? When do you does it have to go to SARS?
If you want them, if you want them, you file.
If you need a third party involved who can do it for you.
Yeah.
They just take like
what do you call it?
But how much you have in your
but you know how much you have to claim, bro.
Yeah.
How do you if they claim more?
As in bank invested with tax certificate, it's from two places.
Imagine, we don't know how long this lockdown is for, bro.
Oh yeah.
It might just chill. Chill.
No, bread. That's just because of lockdown has been forfeited.
Issue? Oh, I know. It's the new economy.
Tell me.
It's a different cycle, man. You see where there's new cycle. Where the heavyweights can't hold through COVID. They're liquidated. And then the young ones come, but it's okay.
That's what we're doing here.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that
I see.
Because schools are closed, I can't make money.
Got you.
So now I need something to supplement that.
Oh yeah. Hey guys.
By any means, grow the back. There's
always a way.
Yeah,
that's true.
So Presidente, guys, not low, like the iPad. Easy, guys.
I'm sure those
15 months.
Hectic.
Just because he didn't show up to court.
I mean, people get sick.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yes.
Was abortion after 5 days?
No.
Come on.
No.
Okay.
So what? Play me a scenario. I've got a couple. One, this man's already out of the country. I heard Uzuma Jr., one of the sons, he will die, not to design them, like one is a man.
The other one,
saying he will die before they
arrest. Yeah.
That's another thing, and there's obviously MKNV or whatever. In contestants, camped out already in Ghana.
Sure.
Saying Nabo, that's not happening.
Yeah.
And then he's obviously got mad support.
Yeah.
And there's also the plans of apartheid era. There's Puma out the country.
Yeah.
One of the strongest supporters. So which one of these is it? Does he go Ubo? Guys, Polani.
I think they concede. Ooh. Okay. I think actually they make a deal.
Because I heard 15 months.
But
yeah, because also guys, this man knows too much.
No, it's not even but he has too much power for them to take him by force.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just call it influence more than power.
Sharp. Showcase. And then you can't really not do what the Concord says. Because that's the biggest court in the land.
Yeah.
So your whole system's and just like the credibility in
Yeah.
So the only thing you do politically, because you have these two things, hit a nice price,
let's talk on the side.
And you'll do an easy shandis.
I heard a political,
like an easy 3 months.
I heard a political analyst say,
Gambela,
if he just goes in and conducts himself well, the likelihood is that he gets 4 months.
But that's gonna come with
15.
Yeah.
I
mean, I don't even think he'd run away, to be very honest with you.
Why
I feel like in terms of fleeing the country, I think he's just chilling at home.
Spins at the school spins.
He's chilling at home, not even worried. I mean, he's literally chilling at home, not even worried about this.
He just got a price tag.
What do you call that thing of leaving the country?
You think so?
But they've
like underground, like if you escape.
Those guys have been doing it.
Yeah, true.
Like not now. I'm saying back then.
Yeah, back then.
They were doing it under a government that didn't allow them to do it.
Yeah. So imagine now.
And they had an easy time of it. Usti Ubando, who's that guy that looks like you, Ndalo?
It's true.
Jay-Z, Chrisan.
That's not a bad,
I'm prepared though.
I don't even speak. That's by default because he looks like Jay-Z. He looks like he could be Jay-Z's father. And now you look like Jay-Z, so it's a default thing. But Chrisan was speaking about how they tried to assassinate him in Lesotho, at Mozambique, and Zambia. And they missed all the time because these guys are like experienced at the whole thing. Umuntu can go live in paradise and be like,
It's a pride, no.
Yeah, it's a pride.
No. I go Kisha. It's a baba.
Bro, if you know you got house, bro.
Got the house shit, bro. To have that tainted on your name, Cyril is honestly just doing a terrible job. Like to be that's tainted on your name, under you. President.
Forever, bro.
President.
No matter where he goes.
Yeah. Why is it under him?
I mean...
No, as in under his...
The time of the lockdown, so people say the time of the lockdown and Zuma's trial. It just so happened.
But that's saying like...
COVID is a visitor
the positive of that is that it's like, it shows not enough, but some kind of democracy or law ruling, if you know what I'm saying. At least, in my lifetime, seeing a judgment on a
president,
high power person like that.
And it's always been Zuma on the stand. Like most of it, let's not say always, because Malema was at his turn.
Yeah.
And these other.
Malema was never president.
Yeah, and these other low profile. I'm just talking about high key people in politics.
Yeah.
It's the first time that no Zuma, since I've known Zuma since 2008 in terms of being conscious of him. I'm Jabu. But I said up front though.
In the meeting.
I got you. Yeah,
He got up to President One. And then he got his turn. Now, Wakisha is CR17. But I'm not happy or sad about this. I'm indifferent. I'm just glad that, not glad, I think it does show a little bit of, or give me a little bit of faith in our constitution.
I got you.
To some degree, which is some ruling has been handed down and a really, really powerful person.
Nice.
I was starting to lose hope now he's on the commission.
Got you.
And I was thinking that by the time they rule that the man's going to be 80, he's just going to catch COVID or something and be released. I think he should be shaken.
Yeah.
We've seen movies. But I guess it depends what you believe in, dog. Like, I think if you, like, for me, if you Baba, and it's like if a concession is made in terms of backdoor, whatever, in, like, it's all branding, whether you're president, whether you're in, whether you what. And it's like, for me, if I've got the tools to maneuver life, I don't really care what other people think of me in. It depends, like, he will determine what that means to him, like, about any, but not many people can be in that position and still get away with whatever it is that you get away with. So if, like I get, like, the constitutions for us to believe we're all equal and all of those things and whatever, but, like, it's like, in reality, dog, it's a different game, my G.
It's still flawed, you know?
Yeah. So it's like,
it's more for the powerful, because the poor man on the street is not going to be able to play the system like.
Yeah, but, like, the poor man depends on a lot of people saying, hey, you can't do that, not in our name, but again, behind the closed doors, it's like the poor man would have to, like, how much does the poor man actually, like, influence do they actually have in terms of what they actually want and actually what happens? But so you don't even, so that link is so far removed. There's other things in play which make things happen, man. So it's like whichever story you want, like, about whichever way you want to live or see life in it, but in reality, it's like, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Be what it is.
Because how back do you go if you're going to start to say, like, bullshit started?
Yeah, okay, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like,
I know a little bit back you can go.
Yeah, dog, like,
Okay,
I've been trying to say some shit, but, like, I don't want
This is the last
okay,
not politically correct thing I'm going to say.
you think?
The intro.
But then he was the first to touch down in SA.
Oh no.
That's how far back.
He went there. He just.
That's how far back we can go. Maybe he would have gone pear-shaped in a different direction.
Showcase.
Cigars. The real reason I've brought you all around this table.
Great intro, by the way, Luto. Just saying.
Fire.
Transgenders.
Oh, by lab.
We are chit-chatting.
I wish this was
Oh, by lab.
We
Oh, my lab.
we're judging my people.
Okay, I wasn't going there. I wanted to say.
No, what? No, guys.
I mean, I'm not at the pronunciation. What you said.
No, guys. Honestly, the topic is this lady. Okay, man who has transgendered, who has transitioned into a woman.
Yeah.
Named Laurel Hubbard. As Lizzie Bo. Fine. Ugeli ushaye
Sex change.
Never mind the sex change. She broke the record in the women's
Olympics.
Bro, like, she's not her sex, bro. She's just a person.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Now this thing raised controversy. No, I was gonna say that this raised controversy with
We're wrong, dog. Okay, let's carry on.
Yeah, well, so this thing raised controversy because obviously, you know, as much as she's gone through the transition and she's now seen as a woman and, you know, identifies as a woman, but ekugcineni akukho equal mase ongena in competition because she's still going to have a higher count of testosterone. Nanoguti, like this guy on Instagram who.
So, Manje, are you having a conversation for yourself?
Wait!
I'm waiting for the question part.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
it's coming. I just want to How are you?
The background or
The
context.
background.
Okay.
It's funny, I was
You-
watching this before you guys even said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like popping. So this guy James Smith on Instagram basically chats about it, and he's like, we're not trying to say basuseni kwama Olympics banga participate, but maybe have their own.
Or they just joined the guys.
But they don't identify as guys.
Oh no, I'm just saying. But it's fine.
But it's okay,
Yeah, so he was saying that it's unfair because now it takes away how much the women have worked to like beat those records and also like.
100% though, because I mean they've pretty much shat on the history of women's sports. Whatever came before that has just been erased. Like it's like women can't even physically.
Can we back up a little bit?
Okay.
Though? Just because.
What?
For anyone listening, we want this to be beneficial as well, I'm sure, to some degree.
Oh, okay.
So let me ask you a question before we get into discussion.
Yeah.
What's the other side's view, if you know what I'm saying? Because I know he's James Smith, and a lot and probably majority of people out there are going, this isn't fair to women, A, B, and C, and we'll get to that. What is this like specific athletes' defense of that, and other trans athletes cry in terms of competing?
That's what I'm like still.
That they want to identify.
Yeah,
they want to identify as female. So part of identifying as female is participating against females.
Participating
against females.
Sports.
Yeah.
Okay, and the feeling is that if they can't compete
then it's
in female
obviously
sport, then it's discrimination.
Yes.
That
which is not a negative word. We all
just
discriminate.
No, I'm saying I couldn't say it.
Oh,
Like that.
Okay, discrimination is it like deemed as a violation of like basic human rights as well, or their human rights as well?
Not necessarily, because I feel like we all participate in discrimination. When you make a choice over something, you're discriminating against something else. So the inherent thing.
Do they view it that way? Is like see it as also being discriminated against? Yes, I think the answer is yes. I was just trying to.
I think discrimination is a very strong word to use.
No, it's not even a negative word.
Yabuza.
So the fact that it's a yes, it doesn't mean anything.
How it's painted.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't mean anything. Yes, okay. I chose to drink Coke instead of Fanta. I discriminated against Fanta. So?
Imagi, it's fine. Fine. I was just asking, Guti, do they feel discriminated against?
Okay.
I think the answer is yes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the cry is that we want to have equal opportunity to participate in female sports. I just wanted to understand, Olale is not feeling well.
Oh, because the part is equal, because it's not equal for females.
Will obviously lean in a certain direction from what he's speaking. So
Okay,
For me, I'm coming from a point of, like I said, I do know some trans people, and when you say me this, like I did ask them, like, yo, how do you feel about this? Like, give me your views, just in case you don't rock up, just so I have an understanding of where. Because the only way you can talk about something is when you understand it more.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound biased, like I want you to defend the one side, because I mean, I will be open to both sides, and I will ask like hard-hitting questions and those provocative questions. But first and foremost, I think we should start this off with this country's got a long way to go in terms of supporting the community.
1000%.
And people are like oblivious to actually understanding it. You know, they take offense to it and like, go and read up about this. Like, just understand what's going on, just so you can have some sort of reference when you're speaking to someone. Understand that this person is on the same thought process that you're also in. So I just want to put that on record that yes, we're having a discussion and we're open. Like, we don't know everything. We come with our own views and opinions, but we also did read up on facts and research, just a disclaimer, so people don't come at us hard.
Thank you.
Yeah, but also, guys, like, we don't know everything, but I'm sure all for us in this room are very open to the topic, and I've always been very open to learn. Hence, I do speak to my gay friends and my trans people. Like, just speak to them and just let them know, like, I hear you guys and I hear what you guys are going through. At the same time, like, we can't avoid what other people are going through too. A genetic modification, yes, that's your right, but it does also like impacts other people, unfortunately.
Actual thing. We're discussing like right or wrong.
Yeah.
That was directing us at me. No.
No, there's a
He's adding a disclaimer for the context. Yeah.
So you
no,
say
The same thing you were doing.
No,
He's doing what you were
I said
doing.
No, onto me. He went onto me. So
Oh, okay. Now
you
next.
feel free to, you know.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
said when I spoke to you, like from the conversations that we've had, I respect your opinions that you have on this man, not very biased, they just make a lot of sense. I mean,
Okay.
That's why.
well, let's talk about it. Let's see.
We should get into it now.
Modification.
Where do we start? Take us put it up.
Personally,
Yeah.
from my perspective as a woman,
Yeah.
nah, I don't care about sports, Skylab. I don't care about
But you care about
sports.
Serena Williams though?
Not really.
Oh, you don't care about Beyonce either?
No, I absolutely do not care about Beyonce.
Damn, girl.
You know.
Who do you care about that?
No, I don't care about sports. But this one interests me, like it grabbed my interest because it's something I never thought about. Uti, you know, other women in the sports industry could like feel that way. Uti, you know, they've worked so hard to break the boundaries and create their own records and break their own records, whatever the case may be. And then it's just easy for like, and it will be easy. It will be easy.
Also, just to even play sports.
Yes. To
Not
play
even
sports,
just
yes.
records, to play sports.
Yes. And it will be easy, you know, for lack of a better word. Uguti, a transgender woman comes in and she's going to stomp on that because again, physically it's not equal. It's never going to be equal. Men and women. The reason why they do not compete in the same groups is because they are not equal and will never be. And it sucks Uguti, when it's a transgender woman. It's like, yeah, go get a group and it's fine. But to Casta Simeni, a born woman identified as a woman from Ka'a. You know, she wasn't born. Remember that whole thing with Sierra, which was born with a penis and a vagina? She wasn't born with a penis and vagina. Yeah, she wasn't born with a penis and vagina. She had a vagina, and she she just has like testosterone count.
Details because she does have male, what's called internal genitalia. I don't know if that's like testes or what, but she.
Which would give her a higher testosterone.
But look at the amount of shit that she's gone through. Like every time she wants to like apply to participate in a race, she has to go through
and they call like she needs to take.
Last one I also do like doping test or something.
Yes,
she needs to suppress her testosterone levels.
So as much as like I don't care about sports, but that for me. Like I was like, no, come on, guys. Like it's unfair. Let's make it hard for everyone, okay? Or either whether you are changing, whether you are. Let's make it an even playing field. You know, it's not discrimination
I'm not calling it discrimination. What Lalo just said. There's just not enough. I think like. Maybe 0.2 of the world's population, or 2%, but I think it's there between 0.2 or 2% of the world's population is trans. There's just no ways out of
and they're smashing the rest of the females' records.
No,
just
never
like
mind that. I'm just talking about the world's population in general.
Yeah.
So there's no ways there'd be enough
for them
those
to
people
create
competing
their own.
to be able to.
You know, this can't be a conversation of equality, hey?
It
can't be a conversation of equality. Yeah, it's not even. It's like it's nowhere near.
So then, just to inlay, in terms of physical ability, you're saying men and women are not equal.
No.
Yeah, just to clear that up as well. Which is the value in terms of general equality, which is another thing I thought we had is worth saying. Because there's a valid point of this, Melissa ran past it quite quickly. Not quite quickly, but like stress quickly and then get past. Is the equal rights thing, né? This is not a discussion about equal rights. I don't think there should be a discussion about equal rights. I've been talking about this to some students, and like human dignity, human rights, what are the freedom, equality? You are entitled to those rights by virtue of being a human being. That's all that qualifies you to have those. And so that's why I say it should be a non-starter, that everyone should be entitled to
Human
those
rights,
And we
yeah.
know that people of color are discriminated in some places. People of different colors are discriminated in others to like balance the case. Women are violated against. Gay people are mistreated and whatever. And that's not right. We can acknowledge that and we can say quite unequivocally, human rights. Everyone deserves equal rights.
Yeah,
That's
just
the
not at
discussion,
anyone's
yes.
expense.
This discussion now is about competing in sports specifically.
Yeah.
It's not an equality conversation at all. It's a fairness conversation. I think. Or well, that was worth saying.
Oh, okay,
Getting out
cool.
and clarifying.
It's something like that.
And also, just another fact with what Liz was saying, with the population of transgender, only 2 out of 5 go into sports. Only 2 out of 5 transgenders go into sports.
Of that small
population. So it's unfair for us to say that we should stop there only. I mean, yes, it's a simple solution. It'll be like
no, just join the guys. The market's already there. You can compete. Like if you go in there and you actually try to work hard or whatever, and it's like you're not gonna go and obliterate the whole thing.
Why? Why not?
Someone made an opinion.
Because you identify as a woman. This is the whole dilemma. It's
it's not just about it's equality at the expense of fairness.
Because we've now changed the gender.
We want to be able.
Which is not even equality.
We identify as women. We should be able to compete as women.
That's what they're going at.
And they're going against the further thing, and this is me trying to be to bring the opinion as as fairly as possible. The guy who I was listening to speak says, what did he say? Oh, we're in the 21st century now. The 21st century is PC and high inclusivity. That's the direction the world is moving in. And so he believes that fairness should, so this is the view of some people, that fairness should take the back seat, and his main reason that he gave was that sports is inherently unfair. Understand? Is that Michael Phelps, let's call him a fringe case, let's eliminate Michael Phelps and Caster Semenya because they really freak athletes. Let's take Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt he's not biologically he's got an unfair advantage over the people he competes against. His muscle fibers work better. He's taller. You know what I mean. And it's gonna be unfair to 5'8" me from Africa who doesn't have the same biological build-up. So that's their premise, is that it's already unfair.
Which what do you think about that premise?
I'm still trying to work it out. I hear to what he's saying, but I think you can limit the unfairness. Biology has given us a place to draw a line, and that line is men and women. That biology has given us to, because we will always. It's like democracy. Democracy has said, here's 2-3 parties, the majority wins at the expense of abantu bavotele don't get exactly what they wanted, but they get some say or some input. You know what I'm saying? It means that there was, in the end, fairness was achieved because everyone had an opportunity to vote, but the ruling party won, and the ruling party rules even if everyone didn't favor it. It's the best of all the outcomes. Same with sports is going biologically. Here's 2 distinct across all mammals and all other creatures, essentially even plants and all the rest of that stuff. 2 distinct groups that you can separate on a relatively clear line with some exceptions. If there's those 2 lines, male, female, and within those we've created the whole sporting realm there. The best of the best have always been risen to the top, but you could create categories, which we have, from under 9 D team to under 9A to under 14A to under 14D. You understand? You can categorize that across the whole thing. So it's fair. It's as fair can be, if you know what I'm saying. Does what I'm saying make sense? So I don't
100%.
I don't think sports is inherently unfair.
So like the pretense you said before in terms of the direction the world's going in terms of politically correct and whatever, do you think it's the same argument in terms of like I guess fairness is like, do you have to be politically correct even if it
it's at the
takes
expense of,
like the expense of fairness.
the bottom is I think the bottom is endless.
And but like in this context, fairness would be.
We haven't thought about that.
Yeah. So in this context, fairness would be maybe
fairness
defining things.
Fairness would be males competing against males and females compete. What's called?
No, but I'm saying like the whole broader political in it, because I know it's coming into sports. Like we're talking about it into sports now. But it's almost like I feel like this is like. It's like this is like if somebody punked you, but this is like the extreme punk, Now they've taken your house, Now this what's happening now, like the topic we're discussing, is someone has taken your house, but they didn't start there, so they would have punked you with small things first, which you've let go. You're like, oh, okay, sex is just fluid, okay, and you just let that go, okay, wada any, to a point where now it's like, okay, we here.
Yeah. That's why I said we haven't thought of the bottom. And the bottom is how far can this go? It's just one woman.
That's why
let's let her compete it's just one man transitioned. Let her compete, But if you think about something I heard yesterday is that 2,000 of the world's fastest men today run faster than the greatest female athlete of all time.
Yeah.
So if 10 of those people
Transition.
Yeah.
I forget her name.
That's the history of women.
Becomes obsolete. Serena Williams and Venus Williams become obsolete, And now, what will replace it over time, what you're saying with the little punk and the little punk and the little punk, I think is a potential. We just need to think about it. I'm not making a case for it or not. Just saying the dangers that in Bela, if you keep conceding lines, there is a danger that the future is male and trans male sports, which is just male sports basically.
Yeah, it's just male sports,
and there's no room again for female sports. We have to start the fight from the bottom again to have a say.
Even though I'd say right now is where is the extreme that you're talking about. I just think it's replicated in other forms where it's gotten to a point where even cognitively we're not even questioning things like this.
We're not asking.
Because I think it's got into I think it's from PC, you're not able to say shit or whatever the case is.
Miss, what you call that lady that just won the thing?
Yes,
so you could almost how I can see that playing out quite easily is that first of all, it's hard to say no to once one gainer into the competition, right? You can't say no, and it's wrong to say no. If we do say no, this organization
discrimination.
So then she comes into she competes and stuff like that, and all along the way, she's got the PC story. Now the PC story will trump every other story. If they all struggled, her struggle is unique because she's a transgender woman in the 21st century.
She's a star. Remember, Caitlyn Jenner was the best, was Woman of the Year.
He skipped all the. She makes the pride dress, and you got to play into the hands of these people. Was being, for another example, on her knees, in the Miss Universe thing. I just knew. I was just like, there. Yeah. There's where she's won, and then she said intelligent things, which do not take away from her. She's very intelligent and beautiful, and then she backed it up with the intelligence and beauty, but. There was that part where I'm this lady from Africa, beginning Sinda Napansi, Ekaya, Eastern Cape, and it's you know what I'm saying. So I'm not taking away from her thing. Yeah. It has a power. That PC story's got a.
I think it's mind control.
Yes, it's like a thing of going. What are we trying to hear in the 21st century?
But I think it's mind control because you think,
is it mind control?
Because. It's like if I can't say specific words that's how I formulate thoughts, right? And so I formulate thoughts in descriptive, definitive words in which I use to describe my reality, right? When you control and you say this word is this, or I can't say this, or I can't implicitly you are saying I can't think this, I can't think this, I can't think this, which then you direct. How I think. It's like you lead somebody because you say, you can't walk into this room here. Why can't I walk into this room? Why?
It's the same case, not possible in reverse then now. Because they've heard for so long, you can't be gay, you can't be trans, you can't be this, you can't. You know,
I'm talking about speech. I mean, I'm talking about how you formulate thinking, like what Gavin's thinking.
So
if I'm controlling speech, I'm already controlling how you think.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So for me, it's like
but who's
at that point.
Speech? Just so I understand you.
Just in terms of society, if they say we can't use this word, if we can't use this,
we shouldn't be able to.
We shouldn't. Just in terms of
we shouldn't be able to control speech. What people can and can't say.
Behavior.
We should be very.
We control behavior.
Yeah, we should be very careful about the words. Yes, exactly.
We don't control speech.
In the Constitution, I think it's words that incite violence or incite hate. That's how you define hate speech and stuff like that. Is the ones that incite some kind of.
Even that. I mean, I'd say it's behavior.
Yeah,
I say you control behavior. Hate speech, speaking is going into somebody's head and saying like you can't think this, even if it's like a descriptive thing of something that you feel. So you don't have the opportunity to work through what you feel.
But I'm saying now
in speech.
Oh yes, I'm talking about in speech as well. People have to be able to. Not people have to be able to. This is where I've been now battling to draw a line, and I've been thinking about it seriously. We get indignant when someone says "kafa." So for instance, we say they shouldn't be allowed to say that. Most people say they shouldn't be allowed to say that. I say the one I understand of that is if it's inciting violence or promoting hate, and then you have to prove that it does do those things. But even then, what do you say? But does me saying kafa incite violence or promote it, and does not being able to say that inhibit my freedom? My freedom of speech. So I don't know the answer to that. There's words though in culture that we say can't be said, and what you're saying, it's mind control because now people can't think freely because they have to be able to think. I'm just making the worst case.
It would be somebody who would have to. It's like if you want. It's like, how do you really want to be treated? Like, what level of interaction do you expect to see in the world, right? And so it's like, if somebody feels inside that like that I'm a kafa, and like they can't say that, it's going to be echoed out maybe in their behavior or whatever the case is. But what I'm saying is that like I can't even address it at the point of speech, because now I'd have to address it in the point of behavior, because it's counteracting behavior as opposed to us exploring the idea of something, where I would have to force you, if we had a conversation, to take me down rationally to a point where you can also substantiate where this feeling and what this thing is. But we can't even explore that. Because we can't say it. And it's like it's in the same token with any like with like hearing the other side. It's like that person was a baby born into something, was told something, was in any something, or whatever the case is. And the only thing we've said is that like this thing, we don't even want to as if phone, like we don't even want to any, but we're supposed to somehow coexist.
So there has to be a dialogue.
There has to be a dialogue.
To say some words.
There has to be a dialogue to get past, because then it's like muted. It's like a kid. It's like a mute.
There's another word as well that says you have to risk being offensive to be able to think.
Yeah, dog.
And Mbela to really articulate and think through it. And so for people to be able to correct you when you're wrong as well.
Yes.
To be able to say the wrong thing.
Yes. Otherwise you just will come out in your behavior, because it's going to be like
people are going to be like, no, you can't do that.
Because you can't. It's like he's still he's muted. It's like it's quiet. It's like people that strike or people that aren't heard. It's like when they speak, they're not heard or whatever. And then it's replicated in their behavior. In the act out in violence. So it's like if you have like speech is the one thing. It's like dog. Like you can't touch that. It should be one of those things you can't.
Be able to say. Yeah, which is like I have a problem with cancel culture, because they do, that's what it's for. When you say something wrong, they cut you out. But it's like, how's about let's get into the discussion of why and you feel like
when is a human one thing?
Yes.
If they locked you in at high school because of what you said, if they locked you in at like in primary school, even in varsity, just even when you're like 30 and you're 50, like humans are like changing things, bro. Like life experiences and things and engagements, things are experiences is what change you. So you capping people from actually sharing their experience, like they lived experience.
It's like that saying, Eti, you don't have to like it, you just have to live with it.
Yeah, nigga.
And it's like, no, but like, I want to understand. Like, I think people just get too, like, what do you call it, offended when we talk about it. But it's like, I want to understand.
Let's be fair.
There
are words. There are like obviously things get heated quite quickly in arguments and all that stuff. So people do sometimes say things with an intention to cause you, but like, you still have to have the freedom to say that.
But that's what behavior, which is what we do. Was saying. Because if you say nigga, go aggressive, then I'm gonna be like, you know. But if you're just like, but if you're just like, my nigga, you know, there's ways, you know, which is why I always.
But even if he said nigga, if he couldn't say nigga, he's probably hitting you across the bat with something.
Yes, or burning your house.
Yeah, but dog. So it's like you can't.
It's finding words to express, articulate, and now you can correct it before it becomes a behavior. Is by letting the people say the words.
Yes.
That's a powerful.
Yes.
That's a dope discussion.
Now I'm on spin it. What everything you guys said, now I'm on spin it. I mean, obviously now this generation is very open and very free. Great job society for providing that platform, even though they tend to use the freedom of it.
I don't think they're open or free.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it's a small.
I think it's switched.
Universities.
No, I'm saying it's 2Ks. I'm saying 2Ks.
2Ks.
2Ks are acting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2Ks are acting like they're acting out of control.
Privileged 2Ks as well. The majority of South Africans sitting at home right now are not very open-minded.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna get at, because growing up, you know, our fathers were obviously the strict. Zulu or that culture, like you know what I'm saying? Like where there were people that were closed off. They couldn't communicate these things because there was no one to communicate to, because at that time the premise was
got you. You can't even speak it because you can't speak how you explore it.
And I mean, my cousin said this to me 3-4 months ago when she was going on some rants, and she's like, have guys actually ever asked themselves, are you gay or are you straight? Not like on some, I know, actually sit down and ask yourself, like, yo, as a person, do I have...
What are you?
Like, do I have anything? Just
do you have a desire to maybe...
You know, just so when you get to your conclusion, you know it's done. It's over. That way, your thinking changes, because now you come from a place of solid foundation. You're not questioning yourself when you come out strong.
Personally, I think guys, but personally, I think guys are afraid to question themselves when it comes to that.
That is true.
And with everything, and for me, I also see it with like how guys just act around their guy friends. Like I watch shows like Geordie Shore and stuff, and you see how white boys are around each other. They fucking kiss each other on the mouth. They sleep in the same bed, like both facing same direction. Because sexuality is unlocked.
They come from sexuality. They know who they are. Yeah.
So and then when it comes to black guys, you touch a black guy, even as a woman, you touch a black guy and I say, like, however, we are Shona, nigga, calm down, like be.
That's sexual assault.
You
see, thank you. What people are more what? Yeah.
No, but like that's not where I'm going with
it. And touched hands. Don't even question it. You're gay.
I'm not saying you guys are grinding each other and whatever, but I'm just saying like. You can say that black men don't. I know you were just saying men in general, but I mean I'm being specific now. Black men.
Do you think that changes their behavior?
It does.
I think it would. It would.
So if they don't discuss it, then they're not gonna do. So then if they're gay and they don't.
No, it's not even
discuss it. Think about being gay, they're not gonna be gay.
If they are gay or not, my thing is just that I feel like they're just afraid that.
They're gonna be judged.
They're gonna be seen, even if they're just hanging out.
But who's gonna judge you?
Your peers.
No, but who's gonna judge you?
Your peers.
Yeah, okay. I thought, like who's gonna judge you?
Hey man,
like who judges you?
I don't know how else to put it.
You know, your peers, maybe your family.
Like when you ever,
everyone will
like,
switch up on you.
have you ever seen like a chick? Nah, if she's gonna shame you, the first thing she's gonna shame you is like, is that you gay?
Yeah.
Like who's gonna judge you? Like if I have a real
But
friend,
this, but I say,
but if I have because I have like a good friend of mine anyway, it's like there's like an openness where it's like we can tell each other anything but it's not like a.
I'm gonna give you a reference right now.
Showcase. No, go yeah.
G69 singing Oban Laboband gave me the revelation. It seems like you're pointing to now. You know the Boko Lebetula last day.
Yeah.
In my head, it's sort of like she's questioning what you're questioning now. Because a lot of the time, it's Sabu Wednesday or engage or something.
I
really thought about it because you're right, bro. Your closest peers are the least likely people.
Are the least likely to think.
Your real peers. It's a band.
Yeah.
It's society mostly. But then it's not complete. It's not exonerated because your friend group shrinks gradually from
the older you get. Also,
yes, the older you get. In high school, I called almost everyone I knew by name, my friend. Nabani that I spoke to now that I didn't know by name. And so if I tried to confide in one of those guys, it's like, hey man, and I'm not gay just for the record, but if I tried to say, hey guys, I'm gay.
Yeah.
I can imagine that Gambela, maybe if I told my one friend who I lived with one-on-one, he might have been like, yo, bro, why do you think that? What the hell?
Such a down.
And maybe behind my back,
keep
going and
talking.
say, hey, bro, you just I don't know what the hell's up with that. What to do with that. But in front of me, he would honor me. And to a degree, he'd honor me. The greater group, Lababanga, they're my friends at school. Yeah. They're still my friends. Like, I'm just saying, at that level.
At that level, yeah.
And they can, man, I was talking, sorry to segue again, but I was talking just to, like, empathize with, like, like gay people for a moment as well. I was talking to two kids at school, telling me about at Glenwood they had an LGBTQ banner, and so they were talking about Glenwood's gay, and then they said in my culture that's not allowed, and now I was like we in the same circle of religions, so that's you can guess which one, but there's Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, and so they represent one of those three, and they were saying in our religion it's not allowed in there. But I had this conversation going, bruh, imagine being a gay kid who was born, had his experiences that he couldn't articulate and express. The first gay kid I met was when I was 5. I moved to Puredo. He was my namesake, but with a prefix in front of it, so when Lulu. And he used to play with Bobby dolls and sit with his legs back like that and talk like a girl and had a lisp and everything. He didn't choose that at that age, you know what I'm saying? That's like sort of whatever happens, if it's biological or whatever, happens to him, you know? But also if he got to a boys' school where his parents think he's going to get the best education and be around 1,200 other boys.
Yeah.
And they're dicks. They
talk like those two kids I was talking to.
Imagine the level of isolation you feel as a gay person
within that context.
Now imagine being, you've seen the overtly gay Ululut of being harassed. But I mustn't exclude myself. When I was in high school, we called them the G unit. And then there was one who was like a Zulu guy and he was so cool, so no one had a bone to pick with him. Like we called him baby and all this and stuff. He was just cool, you know.
Baby.
Obviously, so he was charismatic guy and it's hard to dislike whatever. And then there was these others that would, you know, and we isolated those guys and they had a hard time, and you know. And so the points I'm getting at essentially is that it must really be hard to come out and say if you were like questioning your gayness in grade 9. And you saw how they treated that group.
You wouldn't want to be. You wouldn't want to be.
You enjoy the movements actually. You enjoy them. You become much yourself.
Come out in university, this guy.
And if you're not charismatic, so if you're just a dull gay, God Christ. Like imagine just sitting with that dull gay. It's like, the only thing good about you is that you're homosexual. Get away from me. I'm joking. I'm just saying the competition. Like if you're looking at because he's probably saying, I can never be that gay. You know, that charismatic.
We don't have someone from the LGBT here, but like I always wanted to ask if does woman wanting a gay best friend, like, is that discriminating?
It's a fetish.
Fetish.
For me, it depends.
To specifically want somebody based on their sexuality.
No, I have some sort of experience in it. Not me being a gay friend, but just put it out.
How's this experience?
No, but one of my exes who should not be named, said like, yo, I want to have a gay best friend. I was like, why? Just put me in the picture, just so I understand.
Yeah.
So when I see you guys together, like I know what the deal is, And again, I will not name this ex, but she was like, no, just someone that I can send my nudes to, or go laundry shopping with, or have those open conversations.
Yeah.
I'm like, so like you want to talk to a male and get a male's view just without like the male insight in terms of this person's a man and might see it's in a sexual manner or whatever. So you ran away from having those conversations with a guy because it will be sexual or because it's going to turn him on or whatever, or do you genuinely just want to have a gay best friend? And she answered that question. So like, you know what, your mind, the way you're thinking is not okay because you're taking who this person is to your advantage. Like wanting this person for who they is, who their character is to your advantage because that's when you'll feel safe. And that's not okay. You're using somebody else who's innocent, who's comfortable who they are, and just want to use them to benefit your life. I'm like, nah, like
but
think
people
about
are like that, bro. That's why I don't like this. There's Facebook cliches.
Mm-hmm.
So when there's some of them that say
you should name and shame.
If someone's not adding value to your life, keep it. The whole culture is like that of consuming people's value. We never ask the question, even about the bullying thing. In terms of bullying in there, we all know a bad guy. But no one. But none of us identify as the bad guy. So where are all these bad guys coming from?
It's us.
It's the same with this consumerism. Like I know you talk about your lady friend who's taking advantage of a gay guy to get their affirmation. But I think the whole world is kind of
it's so tricky though, because from her point of view, it's like she wants an insight where she knows she can't get from a female.
Which is fine. I'm just saying, like before.
Like you know what I'm saying, but not at the expense of a guy like trying to fuck her.
Without
like you know what I'm saying, it's like without like
girl wouldn't try to fuck you either.
Yeah, but your girl is not gonna have the insight of what she thinks a gay man would have of just males in general. As opposed to say, because women's advice about relationships are dirt, terrible.
No,
like
1,000%.
like they're terrible.
My thing
and also before you finish, and also hate goes on, but gay men do break bro code. So like you're gonna get more insight than I would really rely on. So that's a problem.
Yeah.
Don't except here from day party time. If she gets a gay best friend, you know why she's gonna get a best friend.
I was just being deep with the fact that though, which is a cool thought to throw out. I think is just a thing of spanning that are actually
the bad guys.
The bad guys and
100%.
the consumers in relationship. No one. I'd love to challenge that about people in this day and age. To actually be the friend that says in high lockdown, instead of posting if they don't check up on me, I don't have time for them.
Don't say it.
If you're not here for my struggle, you can't be here for my
success and all that.
When were you ever the person that
who was there for somebody else's struggle?
That's constantly reaching out.
Also, that thing about
but I just think
lockdown.
I personally think we are too close. Like we think too much of ourselves. Like in terms humans aren't even supposed to humans aren't even supposed to know. I think you can only know maybe 150 people in your life. Like about like in your thing. Nah, but like also but like in terms of like
but everyone has a sense of pettiness. Now you have some pettiness inside of you. Even though you may think it's not petty as to your character, but there is that sort of pettiness on you, like this person doesn't check up on me.
I just think
I'm really not like
I just think with the same monkeys we were back in the day, dog.
I'm not petty at all.
We're literally the same people that lived with just rocks and whatever and the same things and now we just have phones.
Too much access.
It's like almost like we haven't even like nothing about our hardware has changed.
No.
Except the powerful tools that we use. That's the only thing that's changed. So it's like we haven't even evolved to the place where we can even use these tools wisely. To a point where they're not destructive or they're not in or whatever. So I think if we have a warped idea of how you're not even supposed to know so many people, dog, or be hearing news from so many places, dog, because that shit is fucking up like your real reality, but like your reality is fine.
It's too much information.
Yeah, dog, like you knowing what's in Egypt, what's in Ian, what's in Ini.
What I've felt about that lately.
Yeah.
And without going into much detail, but from around the week of your birthday, from there on till now, life went what this mic is doing, tanked real quickly now for me.
Showcase.
And in that, there's places where I felt like so much loneliness. I had to really fight for the relationships with the people I live with. Understand? Because for so long, my relationship, if it wasn't with my girl, was with the phone. You know what I'm saying? So when I was getting into the house, I was going, sure, room, and then
phone.
You understand?
Yeah.
To the point now when the rug was pulled from under my feet, and I realized that none of these people are actually here for me.
Nigga.
Even the people who are supposed to be, the real people that are supposed to be here for me now, I've got no connection with them.
Yeah.
Now I'm lonely in real life.
Yeah.
Because I've put so much time and energy into the phone and into these thousands of relationships with people that don't exist.
That don't exist, yeah.
Like Joe Rogan, I like hearing his thing. Jordan Peterson, I like hearing him talk. But they're not my friends.
But I mean,
but the disproportionate amount of time I was
I
giving
got you 100%.
And you see it so quickly in terms of like 5 minutes in the morning, I go, it's gonna be 5 minutes. And an hour later, I'm late for work. And I don't even shower.
With the amount of time we're given to the phone. And
but we're losing out on
dog. And it's like you are what you are. It's like you're not more special than your grandfather, than your great grandfather when you're in. You're not nigga. You ain't nigga. Like
just building on each other, on the shoulders of the next person.
Bro, it's like so.
But let's circle back a little bit. Finish your thought, but I want us to circle back just to some solutions about what we were talking about because we didn't really get into any. What do you think the solution? Sorry to turn this on you.
Oh
what do you think the solution should be to Inle?
I was thinking about it when we were talking about it, and the first thing that came to mind was like, let's exclude the gender part of it, and umuntu compete in terms of physicality and how far your physique and your testosterone or all of these things, how far that goes.
Oh, you saying because he was making OT, even there's inherent differences between males, so it's very inherent.
So, in order for you to apply for, like, let's say there is a men's group, I'm saying let's forget about who it's female or male. If you are 1.6 to 10.2, we're making examples there. If you're between that group, you are one
so
group.
So create new competitions.
Whether you're male or female, you're fucking running in that group because you're between.
What happens if they have different eye color?
I'm trying to get eye color. I'm just talking now.
Inherent differences that make a difference.
That will give you a physical advantage or disadvantage.
Like, are you saying inside the male category, you're going to redefine that?
No, as in remove the gender, the gender name, what it's made.
So it's characteristics.
It's just your physicality or your capability. If your testosterone is 10 and your muscle thingy is this and your blood is this, and I don't know how they fucking test.
I don't remember the ratios of testosterone. There's a natural ratio for men and natural for females. So but there's. I'm gonna let you say what you're gonna say because I think it's gonna still be a rebuttal to her. But
no, I just want to see how far you go.
Yeah, how far does it go?
It's just gonna mix with that.
No, I'm saying just like in the categorizing, like just being like those unique things that you want to look like. How far does it go?
In athletics now, size 9 is more beneficial than size 2. Now you have to go, okay, he's got the right testosterone, but
he's
there's
a size
discrimination
2.
against size 2 feet. You understand? There's no
Yeah.
order when if you run too far away from the category nature has given us. It just there's a flaw.
Well, that was my fucking one.
Got you. But that's also the issue with the argument.
Yeah,
it's the same issue with the argument. It's like it's either these are the defined things what we've defined, and we stick to definitive things because that's how we also understand.
What do they do? What do they do to cast? They make her take
testosterone suppressants.
But I mean, do they work?
Well, you can't because not necessarily. Her testosterone has already worked.
That's the problem with the transitions. So
can't they make them take?
They've like what they're saying to this lady now. They're saying she must take testosterone suppressants.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with that. Even if she does take the the testosterone suppressants,
it's still not enough.
You reach puberty when you're 12.
Yeah. So her body structure.
So she's already got.
You've already benefited
got the
from
benefits.
all the benefits of having more testosterone. Broader shoulders.
That's why Caster's also out.
So you're already both basically.
Yeah.
You're already LeBron James when they tell you to start suppressing your testosterone. My solution earlier was it's not a good solution. It was just what I thought of in the morning.
Solutions on the table.
But this creates a different conversation again because there's no bottom. Is to say, fine, they should go. It's like the Constitution, there's a lot of flaws, so they try to cover every flaw with another.
But it just creates another issue.
So, in the same way, though, I'm saying, if they were saying, okay, fine, transitioned athletes can compete, but only if they transition before puberty. That the question that creates is that there's a whole new conversation already happening around the world is how soon is too soon, and it's too soon to let a child that's 12 and
that's out. That solution is out. Remember we had that conversation.
It's because your parents are deciding for you at that age. How many times does a person change?
Not even that. Even if the child decides, it's like you want to be a pony, you want to be so stupid.
A kid changes in personality and ideas so many times. I think when we did this video now for church that says I want to be this or I want it to be this. From the age of 9, when I just wanted to be the fastest in school, to wanting to be a pro surfer, to wanting to be a pro surfer, to wanting to be marine biologist, that all happened between 9 and 18. And you see a lot of people like that, they go through school, they've got all these things, they're good at music or something, and then you see them after school, they've got absolutely no interest in the thing they were interested in before. Or they're an absolute different person. Omunye has become very LGBTQ. Omunye has become super masculine when they're on this flamboyant.
Very true.
So it's too soon at that age to do it. You see, so that's the conundrum, but I thought there was a decent solution. I used to go.
That's an atrocious solution. Shocking. You shouldn't even have said it.
I'll say
I want to hear his solution.
He wants to go last.
You guys are terrible.
Oh wow, Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
It's a double line on zero.
Jesus.
I'm saying, but now let's say that you had to come up with a solution that wasn't keeping the things the way they are now.
And I was
That's what I'm saying. I think the beginning of that thinking is at least to say it'll be a bit more.
Let's put it out.
A bit more fair if they were transitioned at 6 years old.
If people were born adults. That's what you're saying. If people were born adults.
If there wasn't a conversation.
In your world, they're born adults.
Let's hear your solution.
Wow. Just wait there.
Hey, man, let's hear your solution.
I can afford it. I'm grown.
I'm grown,
Just to close my thing quickly. The second flow to that is that I think there's science also support the case that my nephew as a 2-year-old is bigger than his female counterpart.
That's true. Already.
Benefited from being male.
100%.
Somehow. So
Alright, so for me, I was thinking from a sports perspective because that's what quite time threw at me. And like you just said, just like amendments, I think that's the best thing we can do until we actually sit down and properly plan this and dot all the I's and dot the T's. And it may not be like the best, but it was just some sort of involvement. They are involved, but at the same time, they won't get recognized for their achievements. Was to say, just like in athletics. In athletics, you have players that are races that are called pace setters.
That's fine then.
We have races that are called pace setters. like let her be a pace setter. You know.
But she wants to compete and win.
No, but I'm saying that because we
But
don't
you-
have a concrete solution because it's gonna be a war.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to forget about Serena Williams. We don't want to forget about them, what they've done in sports. You know, we don't want to forget who was the Jamaican woman that was pregnant and she came back and broke the 100-meter Olympic record.
Like how many months though?
Actually, she was pregnant. She went away.
Yeah, but how
came
many
back,
months though?
and she broke the record.
Yeah, how many months?
No, I mean, of course she had time.
We don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, so maybe she was 2 weeks. Oh wow, okay.
And yeah, that was
I mean, she was so
Like
different.
that's
No,
like,
I think more of the thing that makes that.
I'm
differently.
joking.
But you understand though, because
Yeah.
coming from pregnancy. You
Oh, coming from?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought maybe she was like a month
No,
pregnant.
coming from
And then
And
she
then what
ran.
happened?
I thought she ran while she was pregnant.
Wow.
No pregnancy.
Wow, what keep it says.
Yeah, what a car, what trainer,
Wow.
what we.
Ah.
And she broke the record. She
I
set a
think-
record.
Yo,
I think she matched Usain's post record of gold medals.
she's Jamaican.
Or
Yeah,
gold
yeah.
Yeah.
Was still in the stuff.
Yeah.
That's what gave her, because you know that thing is nutritious.
Yeah. So, like, we can't forget about that.
Yeah.
Whereas you get someone who is trans who's gonna smash her record in the first attempt. You know, like, that's
I don't mind, like ghost
Yes.
win is not a bad thing, but that's like just phantom, they're almost like phantom players.
Phantom players.
Yeah, they're not real.
What the-
No, I'm just saying in terms of competition.
Until we get to
In the context of competition.
I think I like
I'm sure like in real life.
Those guys, but
It's not offensive though.
Let me
We're not
explain
saying you
why
can't
it's
compete.
offensive.
We're not
Why is
saying
it
you can't
offensive?
compete. We just say not now. That's all.
Let me
Just say, okay, why is it
let me
offensive?
explain.
Okay, yeah.
Rome wasn't built in a day. I think
I agree.
your
That's
expectation
where I'm
of just like
coming from.
using to jump in and like it's palace.
That's where
I'm
I'm
not
coming
even
from.
shooting down the idea. I think you like.
I like that.
If you're
We're building. We need to build towards the.
If Ngempela
Sorry,
they just wanted to compete,
Yeah.
I don't think we'd even be having this conversation.
What do you mean?
We are building.
No, let me try.
We are right now.
No, but what do you mean if they just wanted to
Let me
compete?
try qualify this. If they wanted to participate, I
Okay.
don't think if
And-
we're saying fine, participate as women, but just know that only the natural women are being acknowledged for the medals and stuff like that.
Surely they don't want this as much, it's not in their
But
heart.
for now, incentive as much as the next, you want to qualify for the Olympics and compete at the Olympics for a medal.
Bro, you know the
Understand?
first
You never
Olympians
hear of a 9th place transgender athlete in what's called?
in what?
In
In women's
competition.
sports. Yeah, you
Won
don't.
out of 3.
Because
You
the
don't.
incentive of winning, that's
Yeah.
incentivizing.
Because she's going against natural women. Like there's no even number 9.
But before you win, there's money to be won. So you don't just get this thing, guys.
A participation badge.
Yes, you don't just get a medal.
Sure, they don't want the sports as much, dog.
Exactly.
The first players used to play without pay, without in, without whatnot in. They don't love. They trying to exploit.
It's not just a.
Monetary.
They
Yeah.
want
Yes, trying to
participate.
exploit.
It's not participation if they can't get the full benefit that every.
But
other
if you're
athlete
adding
gets.
benefits, then it's exploitation.
It's not because Usain Bolt is getting a benefit. You want a benefit.
But
Yeah, but he's getting a benefit in something that was built
But
in
he
and
was
got to
born a
that
man.
thing about
He's
what
raised as a man.
It doesn't. You saying these niggas gonna build the castle in and we're gonna come in and do a heist. I know how to do a
No,
heist.
guys,
That's what you're arguing with.
No, listen, I'm standing with you. That's the first thing you have to
Oh,
understand. I'm on
okay.
your side. I'm saying.
This nigga wants to steal.
Hold on. Just as you objected to my proposal and
Yeah,
politics.
Yeah.
I'm saying the normal objection to that I can imagine
Is
if
to
I was
steal.
a trans athlete would be
To steal.
I don't want to
the
be
coffers.
I don't just want to be here so I can run around the track.
Yeah.
I can do that at home.
I wanna eat their money.
I want the prize money for
Yeah.
winning.
Yes.
I want to set the record and be recognized as the record.
Mine.
Those are cocktail salad.
Yeah, just to participate. Yeah, like it's a job. You want to steal. Right. You're not going to steal here. Right. You're not going to steal here. You want to steal. Not in front of our eyes.
I was just being devil's advocate and get
No, man, it's a good point.
Yeah, no,
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. But I mean, like
Of thievery.
That's not something. So I was thinking of it like you guys were saying, we don't have the underground, we don't have the foundation. So I'm saying let's start with the foundation.
Yeah.
Let's slowly get practices in
Many people sacrificed their lives in to create a sport, dog. It's like if you really want, if you're saying, dog, this is like I my G, but not at the expense of others, dog. Like no one's saying no. But not at the expense of others. Like your rights can't supersede somebody else's rights.
That's what it is, though.
But now they feel like
that's a feeling, dog. Who cares, dog? Fuck, man.
That feeling goes both ways, just to represent them in a little bit.
100%. But your argument is a feeling.
It's not okay. They think that, or they believe that it goes both ways. What you're saying about at the expense of others. They say
it's not at their expense. My fuck, you're not gonna. This equation started long time ago. Oh, fuck, man. Fuck, man. Like, it's like this is what I was telling you. This is what I was like I was referring to. Is that like you can't. Yeah, dog. No, dog. 100%, no, 100%. But what I'm saying is that PC can't be at it can't be at the expense of just humans, dog. Yeah, but it can't. Of just humans, dog. Yeah, but like your feeling of something you can't take offense of something and then we all have to. Yeah, but like the world has to move, dog. Like work with your feeling, dog. Every person is working with their feelings, dog. Yeah, dog.
That's not to what you're saying. No, I'm trying to.
No, go for it.
About working with your feeling.
Yeah.
They're gonna say once upon a time, men said this about women, right? I'm not saying it's true.
Sure.
What did they say?
They'll say once upon a time there was one woman sitting in a bus during the civil rights movement or whatever.
It's youth sports.
Yes, sir. Sitting in it, or there was one woman who wanted to be recognized.
Got you. Yeah.
And people were saying not at the expense of.
Yes. So they created a sports for.
Never mind creating the sports for, because they didn't create the sports for a long time. They
didn't have it.
No, they forced to get into.
100%.
So the way they see it now, in the same sense as saying, once upon a time. I mean, today it's gonna be just me. But maybe some of the thinking, this is me like making something up. Maybe the feeling is, I know you said it's a feeling, maybe the feeling is, once I've paved the way as this person, this lady now that's winning the record and standing my ground and fighting the good fight, once Costa did her thing before me and I'm following in her vein in my different way, and other transgenders and Caitlyn Jenner's paved the way, in 100 years time, those women are going to be recognized as great women of the past. There's going to be a new normal. You understand?
At the expense of?
Exactly, but they're saying that question has been asked before about women being integrated into sports, and that question has been asked before.
But it wasn't at the expense of anyone. Thank you. Okay, yeah. It wasn't at the expense of anyone.
No, because society, they'll say, you feel like that. They'll say men at that time felt like it was at the expense of something. You understand? And
nah, dog, it's not at the expense of anyone. It's not at the expense of anyone. Yeah, trying to cater to. It's like
they created their own category.
It's like this. Women went to okay.
They must create their own category.
No, but it's like women went to okay. So why am I not playing sports? Rationalize that.
You can't.
Thank you. But we can rationalize the shit as to why you shouldn't be in a thing.
Now we've oversimplified.
No.
Let me bring it back a little bit more.
Yeah.
Let me make it
a real argument.
In today's situation.
Yeah.
Take women right now. We can argue the merits of this, but I'm just gonna place the basic argument.
Okay.
Women are complaining about their salaries in sports. I guess equal pay. Now we can discuss that to the moon and back about performances and endorsements and all the rest of the stuff. That's neither here.
Who's watching it?
No, fine. Don't wait with the questions. I'm not defending this. I'm just making an example.
Yeah.
They are making those objections. Yeah. And the initial thing is that women had to fight to get into the workplace, and those women who fought to get into the workplace paved the way for women to fight to get into sporting what's called to actually be recognized, like that they can do this, and they have to fight to make their sports professional. And now that it's professional, they're fighting to get it to be recognized as equal and paid as such. Ne? That's progression. So now I'm saying the objection of Lomundu Umewati at what cost and who's
Does that person even know the history of how men's sports even got to the place that it's at?
I'm sure they don't.
Yeah, then dog, people are just talking out of their ass.
But I'm just letting you know that that's a plausible argument I can imagine someone from the other side saying.
Yeah. But it's not plausible in the thing.
You can take the argument apart because I don't know the details of it. I just know that that's the general feeling.
Okay, but if you just said, I would just say, okay, what was the evolution of male sports? Was when male sports started, did it start off professional broadcast? Blah, blah, blah. No. There's people who will never know who participated in this thing without getting their fair due at the end, who used to work full-time jobs and then do this and whatever in. And those are the things where it's a generational thing that fed into something that's here.
And now what I'm saying then is that the LGBTQ community, especially trans women, see themselves as the stewards of.
Yeah, they need to be educated in terms of how sports progresses. Go to the history of sports.
What I'm saying is that they going. We are there, and we want future generations of trans people to be.
So they don't want to pay the price that they have to pay to grow it.
Yeah, no, but they're all trying to pay the price now.
No, but not to grow it. But not to grow it. It's a heist, my nigga. It's a goddamn heist.
But in their eyes, they're saying, I will do it.
That's fine in their eyes. We're saying their eyes are wrong.
They see it as...
Yo.
Because the first female, you remember the first female athlete to run the Boston Marathon or whatever, one of the first jumps in and ran and was tackled out. They saw that like men were like excluding them, like fully going, women can't run in this.
Again, that was also a process though.
My nigga, you're talking about a heist, dog. Why are you talking for stealing?
Like even if it's a heist or not, I'm indifferent about that. I'm just trying to communicate the feeling.
Oh no, we hear it.
With Bona, they're saying right now the way this is just like King.
I feel like we're stuck on the feeling, dog. We've heard it.
Yo,
we've heard it, dog. We've heard the feeling. It's like it doesn't make it more credible.
Okay, do you understand that? But
we get it, but
completely agree with you, bro.
It doesn't make it more credible.
As that she's standing in the fire to be the brave first person to.
My nigga, that's why we need to talk to her and say, my nigga. That's why you have to talk about it, but we have to talk about it openly.
At the end of the day, bro, genetic modification. You're giving yourself an advantage at the end of the day, bro.
100%.
That's an advantage.
Heist.
You know what you're doing. You're giving yourself the advantage in the sports.
Because you go in. You live twice.
You go there knowing the whole team. I'm gonna win.
I'm gonna fuck this nigga up.
You know you're gonna win.
Daylight robbery.
Bro. Even in a practice run. You miles ahead, bro.
Are there any women that have transitioned into men and ran?
Men, no.
That competed and became top level. I would.
Because why? Do you think there's money there? Do you think there's money there?
No, there's money there if you're good enough to do it.
No, do you think there's money there? Exactly. Heist.
That's why someone asked Pierce, do you really think, and he was representative of the view
that you're trying to,
but he said, do you really think that people would do that? Do you think people would transition?
No, you go into that,
And I'm like, yes, bro, of course.
To live,
if
dog.
I was living the life I was living 4 years ago, but I didn't have a moral compass.
Nigga.
That's all it takes. It's like
a moral compass,
I'm gonna save up a little bit of money, Lengenza from the waitering job, find out how much it costs to do this thing, because I know that I run like a khoisan, bruh.
Nigga.
Nigga. Bruh,
nigga.
And in
what women wear? Nigga.
When I'm running, I can run.
Shoot to when I found the Land Rover. Let's say
kitchen to make the money. I'm just saying it's a good. Right, if you're gonna be sponsored by Nike, you're gonna be on billboards. You're gonna be making millions from running the World Series every year.
Heist. Heist.
So it's money heist, bro.
Slow. Finally, we
your solution, bro.
To the Chinese, No, I say the formula is already there. It's been said. You look at the history of sport. Look at the end. If people are serious about this thing and they want to build it and they love it and they still want to do it as who they feel that they are and have become, then there's no human that's exempt from building from scratch. I just don't think one right should be at the expense of somebody else's right.
Yeah.
So it's just that. It's like if you're looking for something like a thing that's been done, you look at anything that's been started from scratch. Follow that progression.
Yeah,
the rest of it is noise,
I've
Baba.
got questions.
Heist. Okay, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I've still got questions. And it's not because I think your solution is bad or anything like
Yeah.
that. Like I've genuinely got. I'm trying to be like devil's advocate.
100%.
To represent the other side. The core issue here, or the core thing that creates the problem in the first place,
Fairness.
is that the person who's transitioned identifies as a woman.
No, that's not the issue.
No, hold on.
That's not even the problem.
No, I'll get you to where I'm walking with this. The core, the bottom issue I'm finding is that this person truly believes they are a female, maybe assigned the wrong gender at birth or with the wrong external genitalia or whatever, but they've transitioned to female because they feel that's who they are, who they were meant to be. A woman. Yeah?
Okay.
So, I hear that you're saying it's a heist, so I'm going to say that ahead of time. I'll say it feels like a heist, but what they're doing is going, why should I have to build trans what from scratch when I am a woman? Why am I not being treated as a woman? Understand? And I know you'll say because you're not a woman.
Because we already have like
That's
women.
the
No, that's fine. It's a nice feeling, but
What do you
again,
mean? Yeah.
feelings don't fuck.
Remember you were asking me. Remember you were asking
to the
me.
trans community, these are me, and in Ville.
I tried.
Remember
You asked me what's transgender in this zone.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's an abyss fuzz. That's what Google is telling me. Obviously, you can't trust Google. When I did transsexual, it says abadalayo. Google, guys. Abadalayo. I just wanted.
Closing. Sevalele man.
In closing.
Wait, your solution though?
No,
I already said my solution. That's my solution. Like dog, like Chala, dog.
Really?
Chala, bro. Chala, dog. I hope you
need to build the trans thing from scratch.
Yeah, like it's one of those things. It's like it can't be at the expense of
Somebody else.
my human right can't supersede your human right. Like I can't climb on your thing and take away from you because it's like
I think
I need as much, you need as much space as I need as much
I think
space.
especially in numbers.
Yeah.
Because that's what will happen.
Yeah,
like
dog.
I said, if 2,000 men right now run faster than the greatest female athlete that's ever lived.
Yeah.
Just 10 of them transition.
Then
they've taken
fun.
the break.
The
whole top 10
Late.
woman right now.
Late. The history.
The right now don't exist.
Do that for maybe 50 years. Wide history of females.
There's no history of females.
Yeah, dog.
Any last
and you don't need a lot of men to do that, huh?
Before we close, any last words from us?
I'll start so that in case this thing doesn't get clipped up. I know we've had quite a careless conversation, not careless because it's a free conversation, and we call it that, a free and inlay. But if there's someone or people that listen to this, and I would just encourage you not to take it as ammunition to build your case, because that's what we do sometimes. We find information and facts to support our case, and then we take it back to the people we fight against. I would love it if we could all listen more to some to transgender people and hear what they have to say about their own thing. Unfortunately, we couldn't get anyone here today. So now, as whoever you are that listens to this, go build some bridges, make some friends with some transgender people, and understand
if they cool, dog.
If they cool.
Start the conversation.
Try to understand, and even from the other end, as a transgender person,
be cool, dog.
Be cool.
Be cool. Now we build some bridges, and but for the whole world, again, what was just I think the whole world needs. There's a word I really like these days, and it's called empathy.
Sure.
It's different to sympathy in the sense that I'm not wearing your emotions as my own, but I'm trying to put myself in your position and imagine how I would feel, and then responding from that place. And I think that's cool to say, before I shoot judgment or before I make an observation that might be let me consider how the other person might feel and how this could be, the gay kid who's coming to school, there was gay from the age of 5 or from birth. and then comes into a boys' school, and you're gonna tell them about how they gain this choice. And it's not very empathetic.
Gotcha.
I don't think if you're in the same place, you'd want to be
told that.
Yeah, or treated as your sexuality rather than.
Yeah, as long as it's not the forefront of the conversation.
Yeah.
Not don't do feelings.
Nano, what you gotta say?
I think for me, first and foremost, as black men, as black men, we need to have these conversations. I'd say each and every guy needs to have a conversation with themselves and be like, hey yo, am I gay or not? Like on some real, don't be like Riley on Boondocks, out here wearing skirts and stuff, and not knowing that you're gay. You know, like calling everybody gay, and then not knowing like, man, what you wearing?
Is Riley gay?
He's not gay.
No,
Right,
He
no, right, he
has
has a conversation with himself when he finds out gay.
Cancel this is gay.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yes, I remember.
That means I'm gay too, right?
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. So coming from that, like I know I did it myself. Hence, I'm very comfortable with who I am, and I'm able to like whenever I have a conversation, I know exactly
So
where
what
I'm
are
coming
your findings
from.
then?
Agbonagan.
And that's the Polaroid. Careful what you do, man.
Oh my god!
I'm sad going down. I'm sad.
No. But the reason why I said this is because at the beginning I had that Zuluness in me, like gay person, like and put lots of gag and chat. You know what I'm saying? Like I had that.
Yeah.
Now once I had that conversation,
Yeah.
I'm able to have conversations with someone that's gay. I can look beyond that and put forth that, yo, listen, I'm a straight person and I have no problem with who you are, just as long as you understand that you cannot change who I am. And I will respect who you are as long as you respect who I am. And I've been able to hold those conversations. Hence, like, I know transgender friends and I have gay friends and have
Hectic, eh? It's like it's
Like,
an improvement for you.
Yeah, because you know where you're coming from. Once you know where you're coming from, once you have that conversation,
Sounds like
It
the white
becomes
Yeah, I got black friends. Yeah, it's like I got black friends. Like, and then can you also leave us with the word?
Yeah?
Can you leave us with the word?
Oh, was some Holy Spirit?
Yeah, I know. Like he said, empathy.
Empathy. I think,
Shut up, Wench.
it's very hard. I can't give you a word. I'd say a sentence. Yeah, like pride. That's what I'd say.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Slow.
I mean, my word is humility. Okay. Hey, everyone is just be humble, humility, done. Yeah, no, done. Just humility, because I think that encompasses like, but it'll embody everything. Like you act accordingly. Like you can't make yourself more important than Ilenduza. And if you want something, like just learn about it. Yeah, learn how things start, learn how things end, and understand what you're actually asking for. Yeah, but because we know maybe you feeling some sort of way in it, but my feeling cannot trump it. It's the same thing with if you argue with GBV, it's a man who's overly in and then he acts out or whatever the case is about in it. So it's like, it's one of those things like, that's a very, just humility, dog. Just humility.
Nice.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna love and leave y'all. It's been great. It's a great discussion to have. I think everyone should have this discussion, not just in like transgender in sports, just the whole realm, the whole LGBT thing. Yeah.
You might read that word.
I can't. You know, the whole LGBT topic.
What's the situation?
If you sit there, I'll be like, you know what, I'm out.
The vibes, you know.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot that we need to learn and just excuse me, I'm chit-chatting. There's a lot that we need to learn and unlearn, and as party time from the Cultured Swine, and as people who come in the Cultured Swine, we're always open for the discussion. So yeah, bye.
Okay, sure. RadioDR.co.za.